Taff's word. This is going to be pretty long and drawn out, so I'm going to dive straight into it. I'm going to be covering the Trust AGM by the fact that I snagged one of the FAQ sheets that were handed out. Also going into an update on our playing squad for the upcoming season. So straight into the FAQs. So I've marked some. I've pretty much bullet pointed what I think I need to tell you. Otherwise, this could go on for a bloody long time if I read it word for word. So these FAQs pretty much covered everything that I had in mind, which I felt needed asking. There was only a few questions regarding friendlies and the quality of opposition that was raised, and they were pretty much told that the manager's the one who makes all the decisions regarding friendlies, and also brought up that we are going to be playing Morton-on-the-Marsh in a friendly match during that pre-season. So other than that, these are the FAQs. So the first question is, what is the position with the players' training base? Well, in short, there's been a lot of work going on. They've got new changing areas, showers and toilets, a gym area, a physio room, a laundry room, kitchen, manager's office, and eating and relaxation areas for the players. And that is due to be ready for tomorrow when the players come back. Just to note, supporters have volunteered to help with that. So congratulations to all of you. That's a massive help, I'm sure. Who is the headline sponsor for the forthcoming season? It's to be confirmed. They're in negotiations at the moment. So that has a knock-on effect with the kit. So when is the kit being launched? Depends on who the sponsor is. When will you be able to buy the new kit? Depends when the kit's being launched. So you have to stay patient with that one. But understand those who will be having a pop at the club for not releasing a kit just yet. All you got to do is realise we could have gone up last season and we would have been due a lot more sponsorship money than what we'll get in League 2. So we couldn't negotiate before the end of the season because we didn't know what league we were going to be in. So I completely understand the club's stance on that one. So on to the next. Why has the club shop had irregular opening hours and been closed on match day on some match days? Well, I know I raised this not too long ago, but basically, the board are going to be putting in a full review of the club shop and the opening hours. So hopefully, the end of that review, we'll see. So basically, calling it a retail review. By the end of that review, we'll see, hopefully, friendlier opening hours. And I think it was discussed that potentially they would look to employ someone. It was released the one person who is employed by the club, who works in the club shop, is Jeff Challingsworth. And apparently he does a very, very good job. So I'll leave that one there for you guys to decide. What are the current priorities? And I'll just read all of this out to you, I think, the priorities. So the board's main priority is for the club to be successful on the pitch and sustainable off it. Well, yeah, that's basically what a board is there for. As explained elsewhere in this document and in presentations this evening, which some of you may not have seen, the board sees relationship with our partners at Running Parade as a key priority. Building relationships with decision makers at local authority and National Assembly level has been and continues to be a priority. Other ongoing priorities include commercial and retail revenues, a smooth election process, and a successful integration of any new board members. Increase donations to the club from trust memberships and other avenues, and continue to improve communication with trust members and other supporters. So, yeah, you can understand where the priorities are set there. Obviously, making sure we got a home to play our Football League football at, and of course, income. Income at our level is massive, you know, and every little bit helps. So any little work that can be done is key on that. What is being done to build upon our success of this year? Well, it's that the playing and backroom budgets have been increased. That's all I really need to tell you about that one, and we'll go through some of the signings later because we are making headway with signings. What new backroom staff have been recruited? There have been a number of recruits for the forthcoming season. So we've got an assistant physio, someone covering sports science, an extra coach focused on the link between academy and first team, which I think could be really important because we don't have enough coming through the academy. Now, if there is a link between the two, then that could help definitely with bringing more through the academy. An analyst, which is always good, but we do need an analyst. You know, we need to know what we're up against every week, and the more we know about the opposition, the better we can prepare to beat them. and then a head of recruitment. So head of recruitment is going to be like a scout, should we say? That's right. That's what I would see it as a scout, someone who knows who's right for the club. So a more of an advanced scout. What's being done about people selling unlicensed goods? Well, that will fall under the review that they're having, a retail review. When our election's being launched, it was covered in the presentation, but I can give you a very brief timetable now. I don't have an image of that timetable, although I can give you the date. So on the 27th of June, which was the meeting date, election timetable announced, candidate nomination forms request opens. Closing date for candidate nomination form submission is the 15th of July. So if you want to apply to be on the board, that's when you need to get your forms submitted. On the 9th of July is a closing date for the submission of supporting statements. So to apply to be a board member, you need to have a trust member give you a supporting statement to endorse you to become a board member. 22nd of July, a publication of list of candidates and details. So manifestos, candidate names, all that kind of thing will be published for us all to see. On the 29th of July, closing date for applicants for postal and proxy votes. So if you need to vote by post, you've got to apply by the 29th of July. 3rd and 17th of August will be polling station opening dates. So those will be the 2 dates you can vote in the polling stations. Obviously, they're going to be 2 home games. I believe it's Mansfield and the next home game. I can't think who that is off the top of my head, sorry. On the 16th of August, closing date for return of postal votes. 17th of August then, basically on the evening after the game, will be the election count, and then also the results will be published later that evening. How many vacancies are there? There is 5 directorship spots on our board. Where can you get more information? You can request your information packs. Well, where does it say? There will be an... doesn't really say where you can request them from, but I'm sure an email to the club will clear that one up straight away for you, or to the Supporters Trust itself. Why are there only 5 vacancies available? So under the governance of Supporters Direct, we're allowed to have 12 board members elected onto the board, but it's recommended to have a mixture of co-opted members and a mixture of elected members. So what they've decided is that they're going to go for 9 elected members and 3 co-opted members. There currently are 2, Peter Madigan and Mark Crook. It leaves a spot open for 1 more to come on board, potentially, so happy days. And then the 5 directors will be appointed, but there are some directorships that are up. Gavin Foxall and Sean Johnson are 2 of them. I'm not sure if there's any others. I think Mike Everett may be up as well. So they have the opportunity to reapply and submit their manifestos to get re-elected. So I hope we get enough at least to make it an election, because if there's only 5 applicants in total, it will basically be those people to just be put onto the board. Right then, so where is the FA Cup money being spent? And basically saying here, it has been invested in the playing budget and backroom staff budget, and it's also a lot of it has been placed into a deposit account. Basically, they're saying that the club's finances are in the best position they've been since our reformation. So that's very refreshing news indeed. What is the position with the ticketing system? The club has signed a new deal with Floaty, I think that's how you pronounce it. And they're going to be working with them to address some of the challenges that they've encountered over the last season, and also cover the internal processes. So ticketing should be a bit more efficient, hopefully, next season if they address those concerns. What effect will the new tiered trust membership scheme had? Well, from 30k a year, it's gone up to the target of 100k a year. So well done to everybody who adjusted their trust memberships. It's worth pointing out that every penny of the money raised by the Supporters Trust can go straight into the playing budget, theoretically. Only 50% of the club's income can be put into it. So the more money we make through the trust, the more money we get into our playing budget. What's happening with the ownership model? Well, the vote put an overwhelming favour in for the hybrid model ownership that was proposed, but the vote was only a guide for the board, not actually an instruction. So basically they're going to be holding a number of focus workshops and meetings to discuss this, and eventually it will be put to a trust vote. How is the relationship with Rodney Parade? Basically, they're basically saying that everything is good and hunky-dory. I'm not going to read it all out. They're looking forward to developing it further, so it can be better. And they've worked closely with them to make sure they're engaged before any financial commitment is made. So obviously all that stuff at the beginning of the season about Rodney Parade trying to rip us off, we seem to have something in place to talk to them about that in future. Relationship with the council, we've been talking to the council at all different levels. The council recognises the importance of having a Football League club. Now it's time to put their hands in their frigging pockets and do something about it then. Why have other relationships we've created, and what other relationships? So basically saying that we've created relationships with local MPs, AMs and the wider Welsh Assembly members and ministers. So they understand the importance of our football club in Wales as well, which is good. Why did we have to use Cardiff City Stadium at the end of the season? Basically, there was closed season maintenance going on the pitch on Rodney Parade. Not on the Rodney Parade, on Spitty Park. So we couldn't use there. Rodney Parade, I think, was a similar position. So Cardiff City very gracefully offered to allow us to use their facility, which was absolutely awesome of them. And right then, there's not many to go now, guys. You'll be glad to know. Will we still be using Newport Stadium and Dragon Park for training? Basically, yes. Currently concluding training plans for the forthcoming season, working with Newport Live and the FAW. What is the plan for a ground of our own? It is one of their key priorities, and there's a degree of sensitivity surrounding the subject, so we will know more when it's appropriate for us to know more. Doesn't tell us a lot, but I understand sensitive. Our new business is being engaged. There was a commercial presentation from Alex Eagle, which went down well. So in short, yes, which is excellent. Is Bar Amber contributing financially to the club? A number of small contributions have been made through Bar Amber, which is excellent. And there are initiatives in place to increase revenue and contribute to the community, which is an important part of it as well. Just an example, the venue is being used as a meeting place, and community groups like darts and pool teams are being made inside, so that's excellent. How do I become a volunteer? Quite simply, email office@newport-county.co.uk if you would like to volunteer. Obviously add in there what kind of volunteer work you'd like to do. How much money was donated to the Fraser Franks appeal? £14,500. So well done, all of you. I'm sure that's going to help him and his family an awful lot. And it paints us in a good light, because he was on TalkSport earlier and the club got an awful lot of good press for looking after the guy. So Fraser, hopefully he's got enough to support his family now before he finds something else that can set him up. So well done, mate. What is being done to improve communication? Well, there was a monthly trust newsletter which was deemed to be too much work to put out on a regular basis, so that's now being put on a quarterly basis. But as always, news will be put up on the club website and via social media channels. Why does it take so long for redacted notes to be communicated? Well, there's a target of 14 days, which is often too difficult to meet, because all meeting notes have to be signed off by everybody before they can be published. So they're now upping their target to 30 days, which shouldn't really be an issue for anybody. I don't even read them, if I'm being honest. So what's the club doing to address abusive comments on social media platforms? Well, they'll be issuing a statement before the season starts on this. Although they understand people are passionate, obviously it's their duty to ensure a safe environment for people talking about the club online. And that is it on the FAQs from the Supporters Trust meeting. Hopefully that's been informative for you guys as I move the questions away from me. And we dive straight into the transfer news with the club. So we signed Corey Whitley, as you can see there, from Ebbsfleet United, yes, of course. And I haven't got it written down what he said, but during this, you should be able to read it. Obviously, I'd imagine he's looking forward to the step up in class. Obviously, from National League to League Two, he looks like a handy player, fast, and can score some good goals. Not a prolific goal scorer, but judging by the sort of positions that he plays in, he's more of an attacking midfielder or support striker more than an actual goal scoring striker, and that's what we need, a bit of pace, up front to and help creating goals, because obviously we've got Podge who scores goals, Matt who scores goals and is a really good target man. We got the younger players coming through like Toure and Collins. We still got Aziz and Marsh Brain at the club as well, so Corey will offer some really good competition for up front. It just goes to show that potentially we could be looking at adopting the three up front as we did with when Semenyo was at the club, when we were playing him with Podge and Matt. Really, really good news that Josh Labardi has re-signed. I got a feeling he may be put in as captain. So really, really glad about that. As you can see in front of you now, the sort of things that have been said by Josh himself and the manager. Like I said, I think he's a very good shape to be the captain again next season. The big thing surrounding him, though, is his fitness. Hopefully he can stay fit and we can get a good season out of him. He signed for 2 years, which is excellent. I'm liking the fact we're offering 2-year contracts to these players, because there's nothing worse than losing a player when they're bloody good for you. So we're looking like we're going to have a bigger, more in-depth squad for next season, because I'm hearing rumours that there's more players to come, and possibly even there's a rumour about Mickey Dimitriou, but we'll come on to him a little bit later on. Joe Day, unfortunately, didn't re-sign with the club, but we were expecting this after signing Tom King. Joe Day has moved on to Cardiff. Didn't like the picture of him doing the Ayatollah, but hey, what can you do? He's at his new club. He's got to please his fans. Can't hold it against him for moving there, of course. He would have more than tripled his wage, jumped 2 divisions in class, and he's getting to test himself at a higher level, which any footballer with at least an ounce of ambition about them will be wanting to do that, of course. And then finally, we've got one left in limbo now. There was 4 not too long ago. There is now one, and that is Mr. Mickey Dimitriou. He's another shape potentially to be captain. I believe he was vice-captain at the beginning of last season. There's word that he may go back to Shrewsbury. There's also rumours that he wants to stay here in Newport with us, and he wants to carry on working with Michael Flynn. I know the manager has been a focal point in a lot of these players and them deciding their futures. Shame he didn't have enough to keep Butler and Day, but to be honest with you, they're both too good for League Two anyway. Mickey Dimitriou is as well, but we may see him sign. The one prediction that I made, that I hope I'm bloody wrong about, because as expected, Joe Day moved on. I thought Labardi and Dolan would sign, and both of them have now. Mickey Dimitriou is the one I said I think he'll leave. I really, really hope I'm wrong, because if we keep him, sign one more midfielder, sign one more forward, and I think we are good to go for the season. And that's not even including any loan players that we're looking to bring in. So there we have it, guys. That is an update with the club wrapped up in one little nutshell. Well, not a little nutshell, but a close to 20-minute video. So yeah, thanks all for watching. Thanks for the support on the channel, and keep watching our videos, guys. The more you watch, the more you like, the more you comment, the more interaction you have with us on the channel, the more subscribers we've got, of course, the more money we make for the Amber Army, which in turn goes to the club in the end. In one way, shape or form, whether it's financially or by helping with the atmosphere or merchandise going into the club shop. It's a bit of a no-brainer, guys, Get everyone else to subscribe as well, because if you get the subscribers up to 2,750 by this Sunday's live stream, I will be doing a giveaway, and the best question on the night wins that giveaway. So yeah, make sure you're tuned in for that, and make sure we get those subscribers up. So thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time. Cheerio for now, and as always, up the county. Many thanks for watching the latest content on the Amber Army channel. Please make sure you leave us a like. Make sure you subscribe for more content, both for the neutral football fan and also plenty of Newport County. Even more Newport County content can be found on the club's iFollow channel on the link above. It is just £4.49 per month to subscribe to that service. And those of you feeling extra generous can also support us on Patreon on the link at the bottom there. That would be a monthly donation of your choice. Thank you again, make sure you've subscribed, and as always, up the county.